Hello and good morning, listeners. I'm your host, Kairhii Chishiite, and welcome to the third episode of this special program series produced by Regional News Unit AKASHVANI KOHIMA as part of Seva Parv. And today we have Dr. Cressida Jamir, Deputy Director, Department of Agriculture, Government of Nagaland, who will be shedding light on the topic From Soil to Success, Strengthening Farms and Farmers. Thank you, Doctor, for coming and devoting your valuable time, and welcome to AKASHVANI KOHIMA. We are extremely delighted to have you here today.
Thank you for having me here. I'm really delighted to come and share some of the insights of what our department is doing for the past 11 years.
Thank you. We shall now delve straight into the topic. So, Doctor, my first question to you is, over the past 11 years, the government has introduced several reforms. How do you see this shaping the agriculture and allied sectors across the country and specifically in Nagaland?
Thank you for the question again. We really look at the 1960s. We have heard of Green Revolution era, which was started in India. And this era was started to increase food production through adoption of high-yielding varieties. Chemical fertilizers were used, pesticides were used, and irrigation were used to increase the food production. And of course, this made the nation self-sufficient in food grains like wheat and rice. But then these interventions led to causing soil degradation, water depletion, loss of biodiversity, and numerous health issues that we are witnessing today through consumption of these produces which are loaded with pesticides, insecticides, and chemical fertilizers. So realizing this, the government has introduced a more sustainable farming systems like organic farming system, natural farming, and improved water and soil management, crop diversification, and sustainability, looking at the climate change aspect in the country. So in Nagaland also, the department is implementing various central sector schemes like Mission Organic Value Chain Development in Northeastern region. And this particular scheme looks into the organic farming system. And this is a special initiative of the central government for the Northeastern region, because Northeastern region has an immense potential in organic farming. And this mission doesn't just look after the production aspect, but it looks after the value chain, marketing, branding, the whole value chain. So this mission looks at Northeastern region as a major supplier of organic commodities in both national and international markets. Another notable scheme is called Per Drop More Crop, which addresses the efficient use of water in agriculture system. This has to do with construction of water harvesting ponds, to creation of water channels, to micro irrigations like drip and sprinkler irrigation. So we have seen with these interventions farmers taking up winter season cultivation also, which was not done, say, 11 years ago because of water insufficiency. So with these interventions, we have seen farmers taking up rabi season cropping. Then the once abundant paddy field has been revived through this scheme. Another special scheme is called National Food Security and Nutrition Mission. So this mission addresses the food production not only of our rice, wheat, but then we look at pulses, nutri-cereals like millets, and commercial crops in India. And it also focuses on nutritional security in the state. Another very notable scheme that the farmers are very excited about is the farm mechanization. So in this farm mechanization, we give them machineries to address the shortage of labor in our state, as well as making agriculture more attractive to the youth. Then we have natural farming, which is to do with chemical-free agriculture through traditional ecosystem-based practices. So with these initiatives, we can infer that the buzzword in agriculture is sustainability. And we are intentionally going towards that sustainability route because in Nagaland, our traditional system has always been sustainable. But then our forefathers have been existing with the nature, but then our agriculture system has been subsistence. And now with the agriculture policy looking at increasing our crop productivity, but then again promoting climate resilient system of agriculture. That's where the agriculture sector is going right now.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, as we all know, the government has rolled out schemes like PM Kisan, Soil Health Cards, and Krishi Sinchai Yojana, aimed at helping farmers over the last 11 years. How effective have this been when it comes to improving the economic condition of farmers? And also, are there schemes being effectively implemented in Nagaland as well? And what impact are they having on tribal communities and small farmers on the ground?
You have touched a very interesting point, which is effectiveness versus intent. So, in the last 11 years, we have seen several flagship schemes targeting farmers' income, productivity, and market access. And if we look at these schemes and these impact in Nagaland, let's talk about PM Kisan, as you have pointed out correctly. So, this PM Kisan, it's giving the farmers 6,000 per year, and that is one beneficiary per farming household in 3 installments. This incentive is to support them in buying small inputs like seeds, labor charges, and even their domestic needs. And this has impacted positively in Nagaland. And right now, the 2.36 lakhs farmers in Nagaland has been benefited through this scheme. And then the government has distributed 733.50 crores rupees as on 31st August 2025. Another scheme that you have pointed out is Soil Health Card scheme. Actually, this is implemented by Soil and Water Conservation Department. So I cannot say much about the status of this scheme, but then one important thing is for the farmers, it tests the soil fertility and soil health, through which the farmers can know what fertilizers to apply or what crop suitable for his or her field. And as far as I know, soil testing labs are set up in all the districts across the state. And we have, as I said, natural farming scheme, which was started just last year. Under this scheme, it is mandated that all the beneficiaries should do soil testing and have a soil health card. So under this scheme, the Agriculture and Soil and Water Conservation Department, we are collaborating, and I'm sure this will help our farmers in improving our soil health also, and thereby improving the production of our crops. Another scheme you have talked about is that PMKSY, that is called Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Like I mentioned before, this scheme is addressing the use of water efficiently. Under this scheme, the project is called Per Drop More Crop. So this is helping our farmers in cultivating even during the winter season, as I mentioned before, and the farmers are even taking up once abundant paddy field, which was let go because there was no water. So we have a lot of success stories in this particular scheme.
Now, Doctor, Nagaland has been a beneficiary of several central schemes. Could you share some state or district-wise data on how many farmers have been supported through various initiatives undertaken in the agriculture sector?
Like you said, over the years, farmers in Nagaland have been steadily benefiting from a number of central and state initiatives. Let me just highlight some of the state-wise data. When it comes to PM Kisan, like I said, 2.36 lakh farmers across Nagaland have benefited from this scheme. And the government has dispensed already 733.50 crores till date. That is 31st of August 2025. So for Nagaland farmers, the cash support is welcome for daily needs or for small agriculture expenses like buying seeds, engaging laborers. And we have MOVCDNER, that is Mission Organic Value Chain Development Northeastern Region, which is to do with organic farming. And so far, 30,500 hectares area has been organically certified, and another 12,381 hectare is under conversion, because the conversion period to become organically certified, it takes 3 years. And under this scheme, 53 farmers producers organization has been formed, which has benefited 31,104 farmers directly. So under this scheme, we're doing various crop cultivation, and this scheme is implemented by both agriculture and horticulture department. Now, another scheme is called Per Drop More Crop, where 25,000 farmers have been supported over the last 5 years, with improved water management across the state. Like I said, we have had testaments from various districts where farmers have revived their once abundant paddy field, diversified the crops, and started cultivating in winter season as well. We have another scheme called Submission on Agriculture Mechanization, which is about adopting machineries like power tillers, brush cutters, mini tractors, rice transplanters, harvesters, which are suitable for hilly terrain. Under this scheme, till date, 17,800 farmers around approximately has been benefited. And this change is visible in, for example, in land preparation, which once took weeks, now it can be done in few days. Then labor shortages, which has become a serious challenge in our state because of rural migration to urban areas. So this is addressing that labor shortage also, and farmers are able to expand their cultivation area and try new crops because of timely operations. Importantly, this scheme has also improved efficiency and reduced drudgery. That is, especially for the women farmers, it's very hard to do manual labor in the field. And if you know that the labor workforce in agriculture in Nagaland, the women workforce is 72.5% as compared to 53.2% of men laborers.
Thank you, Doctor. Living in this century, how has the integration of technology such as digital platforms, satellite mapping contributed to agricultural productivity over the last 11 years?
You see, in Nagaland, technology has just started to make a quiet but important difference. We are still at a very nascent stage, but if we look at digital platforms, these are making new waves in the farmers' field. For example, advisories through mobile using WhatsApp on pest and disease management, or timely weather forecasts, or if there is some pest alert, like if you look at Nagaland scenario, during Kharif season in maize, we have a lot of incidents of fall armyworm, so which is affecting the farmers' field across the state. And through WhatsApp, these kind of alerts are done, and even crop price updates are done, which is really helping our farmers. Another digital platform, if you look at it, is the soil health card that we were talking about, which is done digitally and then through digital platforms, and even PM Kisan. These all uses the digital platforms to assist our farmers in improving their livelihood. And satellite mapping is coming in a big way. In Nagaland, this GIS department, they are also helping most of the departments, especially in agri and allied sectors, in mapping the Jhum areas or identify watershed areas and design projects accordingly. Right now, there's another scheme called Namo Drone Didi scheme. This is to do with availing drones for women self-help groups. And in Nagaland, 10 women self-help groups have been identified to avail this particular scheme and using drone in making farming much more easier. Another big initiative is called Digital Agriculture Mission, which is already launched in our department. And this primary objective is to optimize resource utilization and increase agricultural productivity by leveraging real-time data and analytics. So right now the department has established a central command center which will serve as the nerve center to develop a comprehensive database on land, crop, and farmers. And this is going to help us in improving service delivery to the farmers through timely data-driven advisories. It's going to help us in better planning and monitoring of all our agricultural schemes. It will also make available accurate land, resource, crop, soil, weather information to farmers and administrators also to support us in better decision making. And also through all these interventions, it will definitely increase agricultural productivity in years to come.
Doctor, how can traditional farming practices in Nagaland, such as Jhum shifting cultivation, be integrated with modern, sustainable agricultural techniques promoted by the government?
We all know that Nagaland has a very rich tradition of farming, and at the heart of it is the Jhum or shifting cultivation. So for generations, communities have practiced Jhum not only as a way to grow food, it's a cultural system rooted in sharing, conservation of biodiversity, and respect for the land. So today the challenge is how to keep these traditions alive while also moving towards more sustainable and productive methods. So the good news is that integration is possible. For example, farmers can adopt techniques like contour bunting and terracing, which will prevent soil erosion in the field. Traditionally, of course, we have been doing that with felled logs or bamboos as a way of preventing soil erosion. But then we need to improvise these techniques, and with scientific methods, we can integrate into the jhum cultivation system. The government is also encouraging integrated farming system where jhum fields are combined with horticulture, livestock, fisheries, and agroforestry. So this means the farmers will get more alternate incomes while also keeping the ecological balance, and slowly the field can become a sedentary farming system. If we look at Nagaland, we have very sustainable agricultural system like alder-based farming system, which we can find it in KOHIMA and Tuensang districts. These are one of the best practices in agroforestry system, which is recognized in India as well as even in international stage. So this can be adopted widely in areas where alder trees can be grown, because alder trees will enrich the soil. Another initiative is natural farming, and this can be easily integrated into our jhum system, our traditional way of farming, because natural farming system is such that we do not use any chemical fertilizers or any other inputs from outside. So this initiative will help our farmers to improvise interventions like using of cow dung and urine based formulation, which is very key to the natural farming system scheme. And through this we can enhance our soil fertility, we can do better seed treatment, then we can improve our yield and use cow dung and urine based formulation as pesticides to improve our productivity. So rather than abandoning jhum, the way forward is to blend its wisdom with modern science. That means protecting biodiversity, improving yields, and ensuring that the farming remains both sustainable and profitable for future generations.
Yes, a paradigm shift we must look into and practice. Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, my next question to you is, what steps have been taken to improve rural roads, storage facilities, and market linkages for farmers in Nagaland over the past years? And are local farmers now able to connect with national markets through eNAM or similar platforms?
When it comes to infrastructure, the department has paved 65 agricultural link roads over the last 6 years, which is funded by NABARD, and this is under the RIDF 16 project. So this has benefited around 65 villages across the state by improving access to farmlands through a total road length of 260 kilometers that has been constructed under this scheme. Another improvement that has been done is called power tiller path, which is since we are giving the farmers power tillers to till their farms, but then looking at our topography, some of the fields are not accessible, especially the terrace fields. So the farmers needs to take the power tiller to the field, and so looking at this need, the department has implemented this power tiller path, where paths are constructed for the power tillers to go and reach the field. So this has also really benefited the farmers in improving their farming system. As for the market linkages, the department under the RKVY, that is called Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, around 300 marketing sheds and collection centers has been established across the state, which is helping the farmers in marketing their produce in their farm gates, and then even collection centers where the farmers can aggregate their products and keep it there so that sell it in bulk. And talking about eNAM, of course, here eNAM offers us better price, transparency, and reduced transaction costs for farmers, and its effectiveness is very huge across the nation. But then in Nagaland, it's a little bit limited due to low adoption. And the reason for low adoption in Nagaland is because of limited digital connectivity in our rural areas and insufficient local support infrastructure, such as primary processing unit, limited awareness on its utilization amongst the older generation, especially the digital platform, because few young farmers right now, because farming as youth, they see it as very unattractive or non-remunerative. So these are some of the reasons why these platforms, e-NAM, are very limited in our state.
Doctor, to what extent has government initiatives encouraged the youth in Nagaland to pursue agriculture as a viable livelihood? What support systems exist for agripreneurs in the state?
Like I mentioned just earlier, that there are very less youth engaged in agriculture, and because it's not attractive. So there are certain initiatives to glamorize agriculture, as you say, and this initiative is to make agriculture as a viable livelihood, and this is done through promoting farmers producer organization. So this setup is like a company, and you train the farmers not only in production of organic produces, but then you train them on how to run an organization, starting from bookkeeping to human resource management to marketing, branding, even advertisements also. In that way, we are hoping that the youth will see agriculture as a very viable livelihood. And another thing is establishing market linkages to make agriculture as a profitable venture. Because if it's just subsistence agriculture, no youth will come into agriculture until and unless they see it as a viable business. So that is, establishing market linkages is very important, and the department is trying to establish market linkages, and we are even signing MOUs with buyers also, especially to buy organic producers in the state. Another initiative is startup incubations, that is started by especially Industries and Commerce Department. It does venture into agriculture sector also, and skill development programs. And the state is looking at skill development as a next step for not only the state but as in the whole country, to how to develop skills from schools to college students. Even in agriculture sector, we are looking at skill development for the youth, especially the unemployed youth. Then we have support systems like Chief Minister's Microfinance Initiative, through which some of the youths have already availed transport goods, vehicles to transport the commodities from the farm to the marketplaces. And we also have Startup Nagaland Incubation Support, which is helping our youth in providing seed funding, training, and market linkages. So all these support systems will definitely help our youth turn into farming and make it into an agri-business, though we still have challenges as we speak, and these challenges are like availing large-scale finances, because to make it into a business you need finance. But then we are facing some problems in availing finances from the banks because of various reasons, and even infrastructure, like we say, the post-harvest infrastructure, which is very negligible in the state as of now. And we also need a stronger value chain linkage from production to collection to processing and marketing.
Now, Doctor, considering Nagaland's vulnerability to soil erosion and changing rainfall patterns, how are national and state level policies addressing climate resilient farming in the region?
As mentioned earlier, the world is realizing that agriculture needs to focus on adapting to the climate change. And so almost all the policies, both at the national and state, is focused on schemes that addresses climate resilient farming system. So the schemes that I've talked about, organic farming, natural farming, rain-fed area development, which focuses on integrated farming system, agroforestry, promotion of millets, which is known as a climate resilient crop. These are going on. So all these policies are addressing the climate change. And also our state is coming up with Nagaland agricultural policy. And one of the main focuses in that policy is resilient and sustainable agricultural systems, which is based on agroecological principles. In this, we are looking at integrating the tried and tested traditional knowledge, which has proven that it really works over the centuries in the times of changing of climate. And we are looking at enhancing our biodiversity by promoting our indigenous land races and breeds. Then conserving our natural resources such as soil, water, our genetic resources, and minimizing of environmental impact by reducing chemical use. So these are some of the policies which will address the climate resilient farming in our state.
Right. The government has set a goal to double farmers' income. How close are we to reaching the target? And what have been the main achievements and roadblocks in this journey?
When we talk about doubling farmers' income, even in national level, we have still a long way to go. And likewise, even in the state, we still have a long way to go. But then the government is really implementing schemes to improve our income. That is through FPO support, that is farmers producer organization support, then organic branding, water use efficiency. We have oil palm cultivation in the foothill areas, then mechanization, and we have livelihood projects which is funded through externally funded projects like World Bank, IFAD. Then we have various other initiatives, even upskilling also of the youth, which will definitely lead to doubling of farmers' income. And then, like I said, we still have a long way to go, but then I think we are heading at the right direction. And hopefully by 2047, we will achieve the doubling of farmers' income. Yes. And the main hurdle in Nagaland is climate risk, which no one can stop. But we need to learn on how to adapt to the climate change. And infrastructure also is one definite hurdle for us, like roads, even processing units, cold storages. And then we have another hurdle, which is mechanization. Of course, the state is implementing mechanization of agriculture system in our state, but then we still have a long way to go to achieve the target. And market linkages is another hurdle. So hopefully by 2047, we will achieve the target through these interventions.
Now, Doctor, what efforts have been made to support and empower women farmers, especially in Nagaland and under the Modi government's rural and agricultural programs?
In Nagaland, women farmers are supported directly through income schemes like the PM Kisan and inclusion of in FPOs and FPCs, that is Farmers Producer Organization and Farmer Producers Companies. So some of the FPOs and FPCs are run by women farmers. Another thing is targeting of skill development, especially in value addition. And then in the department, we also have a dedicated cell for women in agriculture. This looks at empowering the women SSGs across the state. And in last year itself, a total number of 89 self-help groups have been empowered through knowledge and skill development, which benefited around 1,300 women farmers. We have another interventions called community seed banks. As we all know, women farmers are the backbone of our agriculture system in the state, and women are called knowledge holders, and they know how to preserve the seeds for the next generation. So we are setting up community seed banks across the state. So in this, we are training the women on how to conserve our seeds, how to do exchanges, not only that, on how to do bookkeeping in that community seed banks. So through all these efforts, we're improving women's participation, and income opportunities are also availed by the women farmers through all these interventions.
That is very encouraging to hear of, especially empowering women farmers. Now, Doctor, my concluding question here. What should be the key focus areas in the next phase of agricultural development in Nagaland to ensure both ecological balance and economic prosperity for farmers?
Well, if we look at the next phase of agriculture in Nagaland, I think we should keep on focusing on the climate resilient and sustainable farming by expanding our natural and organic farming system and agroforestry system. And we should also strengthen our production and market linkages, especially for our niche crops like kolar, Naga King chili, millets, jobsters, and even encourage value addition and processing to increase our farmers' income. Another area that we should focus on is improving the farm power availability, and this can be done through accessing of small-scale machineries, especially suitable for our hilly terrains. Then we should be developing post-harvest infrastructure like storage, cold chains, processing units, and promote agripreneurship programs, especially for our youth and women, through integrating skill development, finance, and market access. Another focus should be on research and development, especially research on improved seed varieties, indigenous seed varieties that is, which has proven to be climate resilient in the state. And another focus that I feel that we should be focusing on is agrotourism, which can be a big industry in the state. So all these areas, I'm sure, will have special emphasis on youth and women farmers for inclusive growth in the state.
So listeners, that was Dr. Cressida Jamir, and I'm sure we have learned a significant amount of insightful concerns through this broadcast conversation on the topic From Soil to Success, Strengthening Farms and Farmers. Thank you, Dr. Jamir, once again for sharing your knowledgeable insights with us, and thank you, listeners, for tuning into AKASHVANI KOHIMA. Have a nice day.